Hello everyone, welcome to a new game called SNKRX. It came out on Steam like a month ago. I don't know, it's probably SNKRX or SNKRX or something like that, but I don't know, Snake. Came out on Steam like a month ago, and it's like $3, $2? I don't even remember, it's very cheap. Some indie game by one guy. And there are things about this game that it seems like I should like, and things that I didn't think I would like. I'm still not sure about it. Like, I'm probably not going to stick around playing this for hours and hours and hours and hours like I have some games. But it's definitely, like, engaging to play, so I thought I'd at least show it to you guys, and I have been playing it for the last day or two. It's kind of like a single-player auto-battler sort of thing. You, like, have a shop of units that you draft, and you, like, they have abilities and synergies, and they get strong. You draft more copies of them to make them stronger, and the framework that this is built around is a game that claims to be a bit like Snake, but really is not at all like Snake. It's like a top-down arena thing. The difference is you move like anyway. You'll see in a minute. We'll just actually these all suck. All right, whatever. We'll play Jester Cleric for round one. So there's 25 rounds, and you move around like in Snake, but not at all, right? You move around as a snake, like this, right? Normally, I would be shooting at these enemies somehow, but there was nothing I could draft that could attack, so we're just gonna bash right into them, which is good enough for the first couple levels. Your units have health, their units have health. Collisions reduce them for both parties. But normally you would prefer to do so only for the enemy. Anyway, there you go. And once you clear enough waves, the level is clear. And you get a new shop to draft stuff from. And so, we can look at the synergies. This is a cursor and a rogue. And Scout is also a rogue. So if you can fill up a column of these little dice at the bottom, you get some synergy. So if we had 3 rogues, then all rogues would have an increased crit chance. Scout is a level 1 unit, or a tier 1 unit, I guess. Cryomancer is a tier 2 unit, and Arcanist is tier 1. Generally speaking, tier 2 units are better, but not like hugely so, and it goes up to tier 4. We'll just take a Cryomancer here. In the early game, it doesn't really matter what you do, because it's like impossible to lose. You just want to that is to say, not that it doesn't matter what you do, but what you do should be geared towards the long term if possible. But in practice, most of the decisions that you make in the super early game are reversible anyway, so it really is impossible to make the wrong decision. Later on, you start spending money in ways that you don't get it back. But right now, all these purchases are fully refundable. I bought it for 2, I can sell it for 2. Once you buy 3 or more of a unit, it starts being slightly inefficient to sell it back. So we could buy another Jester, but they're not good. I don't want any of this. By the way, I restarted. I got started recording, and I noticed my recording settings were wrong, and I was so mad because the first draft was Scout, Scout, Scout. I could have just bought 3 of the same unit, and then when I restarted to check the new recording settings, it was gone. So we don't get to have that run. It's not like it would have been a huge deal, but it was quite unusual and somewhat beneficial. We could buy another Jester. Ugh. Jester is very bad early and could be pretty good eventually. If you get some rogue synergies or something, the knives will be more valuable. There's an incentive to not spend all your money. If you have 5 or more gold left at the end, you gain interest. This is a common theme in auto battlers. But right now, we've only gotten a total of 6 gold or something, so it's not or 7. So I don't know. I guess if I sold everything but the Cryomancer, I could make some interest. That's not insane. Because, 1 interest would be nice. But I think a cleric, there's some chance I would die fairly soon if I did that. Let's just take another Jester, and we'll see if I can somehow build up to a synergy. Anyway, this is... I don't know. This game bills itself, I think, as a roguelite, which is almost stretching it, I think. There's yes, it's like got basically permadeath. When you start over, you lose all your progress. This is all true. I don't know, we'll just bully these guys for a bit. I have a cleric, so if I take too much damage, I'll just get healed. But like the enemies that you fight in each game are exactly the same in the same order, right? Wave 21 is always this tough round with enemies who launch themselves at you at high speed and so on. So there's not really that much randomness except in the shop and the items that you get every, I don't know, 5 waves, 4 waves, something like that. You get items. And those are random. So there's like, you know, that's the equipment you could find in a roguelike sort of, you know. So it has roguelike themes. Yeah, here you go. Flying daggers, we're trying to do rogue stuff, I guess. We have 2 jesters for no reason. So divine punishment is a mage synergy. Intimidation just generally makes enemies weaker. We'll try to do rogues, even though I don't have any good reason. So I don't know. It's still a fun diversion, and it's like interesting trying to cope with what you get from the shop. I still have not come close to figuring out like how to optimize shop decisions at all. There's other stuff like you can pay money to upgrade how high tier the enemy, the things that show up at your shop are. For a while, I was doing this way too much, and I didn't get enough of the like low tier units, which seems like why would you want them? But to fill out your synergies, you need like, you know, there just aren't enough tier 4 warriors, for example, to do much with. You need some tier 1s and tier 2s, and if you're going to have them, you'd like them to be upgraded by buying many copies of them. So when to upgrade is unclear to me, and it eventually upgrades for itself automatically, and I don't know when that happens either. We're at 1 out of 3 bars, but I don't know when the bars go up. So we could pass here and get 1 interest, but I think I'm actually going to grab a miner, which is another unit that doesn't do anything. It says, you know, picking up gold makes stuff happen, but A, what happens is not very strong, and B, there is no gold on the ground. Only if we get a miner synergy, a mercenary synergy, will enemies sometimes drop gold. And I think in the early game is the best time to have mercenaries, because at that time it like doesn't really matter that much what you do, and I don't know, we'll just grab a couple of these guys since we weren't getting interest anyway. And the mercenaries do a pretty good job of increasing your money income. So if you can afford to have them on while, if they're not keeping you from getting synergies that you want, they're nice things to do in the early game. So hopefully, yeah, when enemy, so the little red thing shooting out is the Jester cursing my enemies to explode with knives, and then when they do that, we have that item we just picked up that says the knives like bounce. When they hit an enemy, they chain to another enemy, I think is what it says. They chain twice, right? Yeah. I assume that counts as thrown by rogues. I'm not actually sure, but I think it just, because rogues are the only things that throw knives, and a Jester is a rogue, he just doesn't directly throw it. I assume it counts. We can grab another mercenary, which, whatever, I guess. But I think I'll just sit on my 5 gold. I don't care about another mercenary that much. I'm never going to get him to level 3. So, and I don't, maybe I could trade in one of my units for one of the ones that exist here and still have 5 left. You know, I could trade in my archer for a swordsman, but I kind of, archers are fine. So are the knives chaining? It's really hard to tell. I think they did. And every few few waves. There's like an elite wave where you have to fight one big enemy who like summons allies and empowers them somehow. I don't remember how often that is. It should become the first one should be coming up pretty soon. One of my dudes died there, but I don't really care. We're like, I'm just smashing into them to speed things up. You get all your units back at the end of a level, and they're at full health. So you see we gained 1 interest there. Okay, level 6 elite, yeah, so we get our first elite fight. Another cleric is fine, I don't mind having more clerics. Sage just like draws enemies, gets enemies close together but doesn't hurt them at all. So if you have something that wants enemies to be grouped, you could pick up one of those things. I think Outlaw is good, it throws knives, we like knives. And since I want this cleric and I also want my interest, I'm going to sell back my Cryomancer, who basically doesn't do anything. He's the one who's making that blue thing around us do damage, which is fine, but not really a key component of how we're winning the game. I'd rather be further away from the enemies. So now there's this big green guy, and you may have noticed that green enemies, like the small green ones, if you kill them, then all nearby enemies briefly become green, which makes them move much faster. This guy does that as his like active ability instead of when he dies. He can like, you know, as he did just there, turn enemies green and make them go faster. This fight is not going great, but it should be fine. We may lose the Jester soon, but I think we'll have things under control. We could probably just start smashing into the guy, actually. I don't know how great an idea that is. Whoever it is I have at the front. Is that my cleric? I'd rather not lose my cleric. It's nice to have some, what's the word I'm thinking of? Sustain? I guess? Especially in the early game. In the late game, you tend to take damage so quickly that it's hard to heal it. Unwavering Stance, Warriors are better. These all kind of suck, but I don't know if I really want to reroll. To pay 10 to reroll when I could be getting interest out of it. Instead, I could just pick something that I might end up getting value out of. Like, Warriors getting defense every 5 seconds means that if the level goes on long enough, your Warriors are very strong. And like, I don't know, we have at least 1 warrior now. We could maybe get more, right? Somewhere? Yeah, our Outlaw's a warrior. And here we go, here's another mercenary. So we could grab a gambler. I usually like to get merchant as my second mercenary, but I haven't found that, so I can't. We also have dual gunner, who would be our 3rd rogue, is valuable. So we could sell this archer. He's not doing much. Replace him with a dual gunner, who's a rogue. Although, I guess he doesn't throw knives, so I guess it kind of sucks. He throws, he shoots projectiles, so they probably won't be affected. And, we have enough space to just add a gambler. You can only have, the reason I'm selling stuff at all is you can only have a total of 7 units. If you beat the game, you play like New Game Plus, where it's harder, but you can have more units. But I have not yet won a game, so I know this only secondhand. But okay, so having 2 mercenaries, you know, it means enemies will start dropping gold on occasion, and that makes a substantial difference in how much money you get per round. You know, maybe as much as 50% more gold. Doesn't look like it yet, because nobody's dropped any gold, but I promise it does happen. There's some. Hey, gold. And you can see the miner's thing went off, and it caused the gold to shoot out some projectiles when we picked it up. Now we just kind of circle around these guys. Okay. I'm actually going to pause here real quick and make sure that the volume is coming out okay. I'll be right back. Alright, it seems to sound fine. I was just a little worried. It sounds quite loud to me, And I fiddled with the recording settings ahead of time, but it's always a little hard to like compare a sound test with the heat of the moment in an action game, so to speak. We could grab a scout. That's another rogue. Replace our hunter. He's like a pretty mediocre ranger. Sure. Now, there is, does it say here, you gain 1 interest per 5 gold up to a maximum of 5. So having more than 25 doesn't give you more interest. It does still help a little bit because of our gambler. So he does, you know, right now, 60 damage to a single random enemy whenever he attacks, which is, like, a lot. If we compare to, like, our outlaw, you know, his do 14.3, but he does 5 of them. So it's, like, similar, but only if they all hit. On the other hand, the knives bounce, and this guy's thing doesn't. And also it targets a random enemy instead of someone near you. So I don't know. There's, like, I'm not feeling like I'm in any danger right now, and so there's no compelling reason to, like, re-roll for more dudes, or for, or to pick up more units, so I think I'm just gonna hold, unless I want to replace something with a swordsman. Like, I could replace my, my dual gunner with a swordsman if I wanted, because I have, like, a mild warrior synergy, but, like, this guy's just better for the moment, so I don't think I'm gonna build up too much warrior stuff. This is just gonna, like, probably suck. But we'll see. Warriors and rogues both kind of want a lot of units. There are some smaller... the blue guys blow up when you kill them. There are some kind of unit types that have smaller numbers of units required to get the synergy. That it's easier to run multiple of. Like, I don't know. I think healers only want 2 per column. Oh, there's some gold over here. Let's go grab that before the arena's over. Any more gold? Nope, just lots of guys spawning. Okay. You can bounce off the walls, kind of fun. Ah, Merchant. So here I could replace my Gambler with Merchant, and that's a big pickup, right? Gain +1 interest for every 10 gold. Whereas Gambler does something I don't need, Merchant does something that's, like, just strictly great. So I will take it. And Saboteur is a rogue, and probably better than, say, my dual gunner. I could replace my cleric. We're not really using him much anymore. Yeah, let's do that. That way I can have 5 rogues and be in a position to pivot into a 6th when I dump my mercenary stuff, which I will do eventually. You can reorder stuff. I really have no idea, like, do different kinds of units have different amounts of health? If you upgrade something to tier 3, to like level 3, does it get more health than if it was at level 1? I don't know. Do, like, warriors have more health than rogues? Nobody knows. The game doesn't tell you. So you can like move them to, like, reposition them, which can matter for, like, their attacks. You know, for example, having Jester in front is, like, sort of questionable. Maybe put him in back because we, I don't know, tend to be running away from enemies, but, like, that applies to everybody, right? I don't know. So I really have no idea who should be in front or in back or what. But you can do it. Do we want a Bane? No. Make enemies turn into little, like, when they die, they drop a little area that hurts other enemies for a while. We don't really need that. You know, now that I don't have the cleric, I do want to be a little bit more careful about bumping into people. Is that guy white or green? He was white, I guess. The white guys shoot projectiles. Oh yeah, so you want to, like, get closer to them. Because they are kind of a bother. Hello, I want my gold! Alright, but I need to survive as well. Oh my god, I'm so bad. Alright. I don't usually have this much trouble picking up gold. Am I nervous being on camera? I don't know. Oh. Looks like the dual gunner's projectiles do, chain, actually. They count as knives, even though they're green and not red. Interesting. Ah, there's gold! This all sucks. We're not gonna have a bunch of mages, sorcerers, or AoEs. Let's try a different item. This is... this is one you want a healer for. Take damage, like, very often. Like, once a second or something like that. And you get more damage per tick. Wall Echo is fine. It's not amazing. I'll give it a try. Hey, we got the gold. This doesn't have any of the stuff that I want, and I still want my big ol' interest from Merchant. It's getting a little bit dicey to keep buying nothing, but I think I can go one more turn. That last fight was tough, but it was marked as a hard level. This one should be easier, even though it comes later. Oh, there's gold over here. It's hard to see it pretty often in the chaos of all the particles going everywhere. The arena is definitely not clear. All right, whatever. So yeah, we saw we got like 13 gold plus also 7 from our just from them dropping gold, and then we additionally got, I don't know, 6, I think. 7 from interest, from the merchant interest. No, 6 and then like 5 more for like normal interest. It's like a lot to have the merchants, right? Instead of 18, we got something like, you know, 31. I'm not sure exactly. So Warden is level 4. That's kind of cool, but doesn't really do what we want. Next up is not a hard level again. I think I'm gonna just push my luck some more. Okay, try not to run into X's when units are spawning there. My last promising run, I made it past the level where I almost always die, and then on the next level, I just instantly lost everything because I like happened to run into a spawning area just as the like elite and a million enemies were spawning, and they just chewed through. Uh-oh, maybe I'm losing here. I didn't realize we had these orange guys today. Yeah, I think I'm probably dead. What are these? What do you guys even do? Oh no, are you my merchants? No. Oh, that's right, I can still attack by bouncing off walls. Alright, so yellow enemies by themselves are harmless, but they throw other enemies at you, I believe, is how they work. And orange ones throw themselves at you. So, I don't know, I mean, if we can keep our distance, we might live. Oops. Should not have... Okay, yeah? Oh, there's... Nope. Okay, okay. Alright, this was a disaster of a run. I went too long trying to greed out merchant stuff. Trying to greed out more interest from the merchant. Well, that's what I get. So anyway, that's your introduction to this game. Maybe I'll play one more, but not in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.